Morning, guys. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Here we go. Ravens Eagles this afternoon. A lot of football before the Ravens Eagles, but I'm going to start with that. I'm still cold. Feels like football weather. Just got back in from walking the dog, and so I got my hat on. I'm ready, man. Ravens Eagles this afternoon, and both teams need it. I feel like the Ravens need it a little bit more, and the Ravens are home. And I don't like the Eagles, so I obviously like the Ravens today. But I want to talk about a couple things. Kyle Van Noy is not going to play. Roquan is going to play. And I think Michael Pierce is going to play. So I want to talk about when the Eagles have the ball and how the Ravens are going to stop them. Devontae Smith most likely won't play for the Eagles. And the Eagles are going to try to just run the football the way they do against everybody else. And the Ravens' statistics against the run, I don't know if that's indicative of how good they are of a run defense, right? Usually we're playing with a lead slash our pass defense has been so poor that today is a test. I thought going into the season it was the run defense that was the major test because Pierce and Travis Jones. I didn't know how strong that was. It just losing Calais Campbell. It just felt like we could have been stronger up front. Would have been nice to. I didn't love the rush defense the year before as the Chiefs ran over us. It was just like we're missing that veteran defensive guy up front. And then it turned out that it's been the secondary that's been not holding up their end of the bargain. Let's see what happens today because, man, this Eagles team is rolling. It is so annoying. It really is because I've been against the Eagles this whole year. We'll see if they fold down the stretch as the games get tight. But Saquon he's just been the best player. I think he's even been more valuable than the Ravens running back Derrick Henry because the Eagles, I just feel like the coach is just such a jackass over there, and Lamar is so much better than Jalen Hurts that Saquon's been amazing. So I don't know if we're going to stop him today. I'm curious, but the more fascinating on the other side because the Eagles, I don't know. We'll find out if they're going to stop him. More fascinating to me is what the Ravens' game plan is going to be. What are they going to try to do against Philadelphia? Because Philadelphia's defense has been awesome. Darius Slay's not going to play today for them, their top corner. I want them to spread out Philadelphia. I think the mistake, usually I'm like, oh, I'll just run the football, run the football, run the football. I think you have to set the tone by spreading them out and just softening them up a little bit, and then we can run in the second half. But I think the Eagles defense is flying high, and watching them, control the line of scrimmage against the Rams and the way they're opportunistic coming after the ball. I just think it would be better if the Ravens in the first half throw the ball and spread them out, make them honor it, and then they can run Derrick Henry down their throat. I think that should be the game plan with Darius Slay being out. And the Eagles secondary is not great in coverage. Like they have two young rookies. If they're spread out and you make their safeties play, man, that's where you get them. It's once Fangio gets you in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and you make the mistake of trying to just control the clock and keep the Eagles off the field, and you run a little bit too much. 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7 against the Eagles defense has been an absolute disaster. The Eagles defense it's been great. So I think we got to do what Tampa did. That was the one game that I made money off of against Philly this year. It was where right before the bye, I had Tampa, and Tampa just spread them out, quick passes, make the linebackers cover, make the safeties cover, loosen them up, and that was with Darius Slay on the field. So I think the Ravens should win. I hope the Ravens will win. I just can't wait to watch the game. All right, let's go through everything else, figure out how to make some money today. NFL's been pretty good lately. It's right around. I think if you go above 500 in any sport, frankly, you're going to feel great about it. These games are so hard. That's why the whole business has changed for me, and I just enjoy trying to help people figure out how to make money. And by listening to me blab for a few minutes this morning helps, then good. So here we go. Titans, Commanders. I know everybody's gun shy now with the Commanders. They're blowing everything. You can't win 10-point teasers with them. Can't win 6-point teasers with them. Can't bet them on the money line. Can't do anything with the Commanders lately. They're spiraling out of control, and the Titans are in a great mood. Titans just beat the Texans. I don't know what to do with this game. It's 5.5 points. I got to see the Commanders win. I like the under. It's 44.5 points. The Commanders are going to run the football a ton. Tennessee's got the number 2 defense. I like the under here. I just don't love this game. It's a tough spot for Washington. They're just blowing games. I mean, they're lucky they beat the Bears earlier in the year with that Hail Mary, or they're really going to be on the outside looking in. They have to win today. The schedule's just easy for them, but they're going to have they still have to play Philadelphia. I forgot they had one more tough game, but they got to win this game. So you would think they would win, but again, Titans beat the Texans last week. I do think there's a school of thought that the Titans will have a letdown offense. They played the best they possibly could against the Texans. They were excited to play that game. A little bit of a letdown. I see it being ugly. Maybe Washington covers, maybe they don't, but I say it being ugly. Chargers Falcons game, I'm super excited to watch. Everything points to the Falcons, right? Falcons are coming off a bye. Chargers played on Monday night. No J.K. Dobbins. Falcons at home. Um, but the Falcons are so annoying. Like, talk about an annoying team. Falcons can't get it together. One drive. It's like one drive from drive, not even game from game. Kirk Cousins. I heard an interesting little tidbit this morning. Heard a little interesting tidbit this morning that whatchamacallit, that Hardball was considering going to Atlanta, but Cousins didn't want him. And I thought that was interesting because now Hardball's at the Chargers going against the Falcons. The number seems too high. It's 47.5 points. I think it's that high because the Falcons give up a ton of points and they have a propensity to score a decent amount sometimes. But last time we saw them, they lost 38-6 of the Broncos. I'm not betting the Falcons. I just don't like the Chargers in this spot because everything's pointing against them. Really tough to play on the road after Monday night. So I think I'm just going to leave that alone. This one, God, I can't wait to watch this. Steelers, Bengals. So Bengals are favored by 3 points, right? Bengals -3. They're 4-7, 4 games behind the 8-3 Steelers. Ravens fans, we need the Bengals to win, obviously. I just don't think the Bengals win the game. I won't bet Pittsburgh, but I cannot believe they're favored by 3 points. I guess people, Pittsburgh's kind of spiraling a little bit, but I just the Bengals will find a way to screw this up. That's just how I think. I, I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong about it. I'm not going to bet on it. I'll root for the Bengals to win, but just something tells me they'll give up sacks, strip sack here, strip sack there, and I don't know. Just hopefully they win, but that spread just surprised me. Colts Patriots, also a little surprised the Colts are favored by 2.5 points. Feels more like a pick'em game. The Colts have caused me the most stress this year. They were so bad last week against the Lions. Their offense is terrible. Anthony Richardson is up and down, but more down, 80% down. I don't know, but I hope they win. I got them so many different freaking bets to end the year, but Patriots actually are playing better than the Colts in a lot of different fashions offensively. Like Patriots offense looks more put together than the Colts offense. So I don't know. Hope the Colts win, but I'll stay away from that one. Texans Jags. I said these games are ugly earlier in the week. They're not pretty. Here we go. Jags. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, and he's banged up, not 100%, but he's still going to be the quarterback. I don't know why they didn't fire Doug Peterson in the bye week. Here he is. They're home against the Texans, who you would think the Texans would blow somebody out at some point and just kind of snap out of their funk. But they've just been in a funk. They did blow out the Cowboys. So I don't know. The Texans, you can't have a read on them. I'm not betting this game. The Texans, they didn't beat the Titans last week. They don't have to win this game. They should. They have a 3-game lead basically over the Colts because it's 2 and they beat them. So Jacksonville's dead. No one's watching this game. I'm not betting this game. Yeah, moving on. Cardinals Vikings. This is the best 1 o'clock game on paper at least. Cardinals match up well with the Vikings, but it's a really tough spot for the Cardinals. Early start at Minnesota. Minnesota is rolling. They've won 3 straight on the road. Then they get to come back home. They haven't played great. Does Daniel Jones' presence, he was signed by the Vikings, does it help Sam Darnold? Does it annoy Sam Darnold? Does it inspire? Sam Darnold is basically what he is, right? Like he's going to make some plays here and there, but can you win with them? Most likely you're not winning 3 playoff games with them, but can you beat the Cardinals at home? I don't know. I like the Cardinals, but it just feels like that Vikings defense is too good to bet against. Like that's one of the thought processes that I have is like when you're going through all these games, yeah, obviously I can have an opinion on everything, and I do, actually, in the pool that I'm in, play, have every game, right? Like that's just the nature of the contest that we're in. But when it comes to actually betting your own money, one of the things I think about is like why certain things are just like why? Like why bet against the Vikings at home when the Vikings are good? It's such a great environment. The crowd is loud. Even if the Cardinals end up covering or winning, just feels like too risky of a bet where things can just spiral out of control. It's an environment the Cardinals don't usually play at. It's loud, so I'll stay away from it. But I do like the Cardinals +3 on paper because it's a good matchup for them. If they protect the football, if they don't, they're going to lose because the defense has been playing great. But Kyler threw the pick six last week, thankfully, so the Seahawks could win. But speaking of Seahawks, because I'm staying away from the Cardinals, be nice if I had an opinion on the game today. I sound like a freaking like it's Sports Center. All right, let's go. Seahawks is the game that I really like. Can't believe the Jets. The line just keeps moving in the other direction. So for line movement, reverse line movement, sharp betting, go somewhere else to get why it's moving. I don't know. Can't tell you that. What I could tell you is simply more money is coming in on the Jets, mainly because nobody wants to believe in the Seahawks. It's a tough spot for Seattle. They're going to New York, West Coast to East Coast, but the Jets are terrible. Like the Jets are really bad, and the Seahawks' run defense is phenomenal lately. It's really improving. I really like Seattle today. It feels like a great spot to take Seattle and under Jets points. That's what I'm rolling with. Worked for me last week against the Cardinals, and I see that as a trend. And I also like the Bucks this week, but I'm not going to do the 6.5 points. I'm going to do under Tampa's points. I think Tampa's playing at Carolina. I know the numbers aren't necessarily backing this up, but I saw enough last week. I think Carolina's defense, I just think it's a division game, and they're going to be able to be tight with Tampa. I think it's going to be a tight game. Maybe Tampa covers, but I like more the under in this game. I like Tampa's defense to stifle Carolina for sure. And I think Tampa's going to run a game plan that is more conservative. They're going to run the ball a lot because Carolina's terrible against the run, but it's a division game. And yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised if Carolina does a little bit better against the run. Baker, Baker's been great, but again, it just feels like one of those games that is going to be tight in the fourth quarter, like a 20-13, 20-17 type of game. And the number is 46.5. So I like the under there. Rams Saints at 4 o'clock. This one is, I want to like the Rams, but after what they did last week, it'll be a stay away for me. A lot of these games I really just don't love this week. Just is what it is. I knew that was going to be the case going into the week. I mean, just a lot of bad football teams or mediocre football teams that are somebody's going to get hot, but it's kind of like the Dolphins on Thursday night. I don't know which one of these bad teams, excuse me, geez, I don't know which one of these bad teams is going to get hot. I don't have a strong take on it. I know somebody is. I mean, maybe I'll have a better take after this week, but somebody in the AFC will, I've been saying this for a minute now. Broncos and the Chargers, Steelers, Ravens, Texans, Bills, Chiefs. Everybody's got them in because they all have a 2-game lead for the playoffs, and it just doesn't work that way. Someone's going to fall apart, and someone's going to get hot. It could still be the Dolphins. I say all that to say that it technically could still be the Saints. More realistically, it could be the Rams. We'll see. I think the Rams have to win this game. They should win this game, but the Saints have won 2 in a row. Then they're coming off a bye. And the kind of same logic of betting against the Vikings when the Vikings are in a good mood in that environment at home. Saints should have a nice crowd today because they like the coach. They're playing well. I'm just going to stay away from that one. And then, as we already said, the Ravens game is the 4 o'clock, and that's another thing. I'm not going to watch either of those games. So it feels like Bucks game will be an ugly game and go under. Who knows what happens with the Rams and the Saints. Ravens Eagles is at 4. The game that I like the most here is tonight. Out of all the games, I like Seattle and the under there. If I find something else here, it's 9 o'clock before, by the end of the night, I'll post it. But I think I'm going to have 5 or 6 prop bets for this Niners Bills game. Just so happens it's the Sunday night game, and I like the Niners tonight. I don't know if they're going to pull out the win, but it's going to be a close game, and I think the Niners offense is going to deliver. Milano's back for the Bills. I got plenty of time here before the game starts, so I haven't even really looked at the props yet. But just my feeling is a desperate Niners team, embarrassed last week. I don't think they're finished yet. And by finished, I mean, even if they lose, they're 5-7 in that division. They'll still have a chance. I just think this game's like a high scoring game, comes down to the very end. The Niners defense needs a lot of work. They're just not the same. The edge just isn't there. And I think the Bills are going to try to get a couple big plays on them. The Niners' run defense hasn't been great. So it wouldn't shock me if Buffalo can move the ball and score. But adding Milano for this week, I don't know if it's a net positive. He hasn't been there for a minute. And I just think the Niners have enough juice here with Brock Purdy at night. So double check the weather, double check all that. But I'll have those bets out closer to like, 6:30 tonight. And then yeah, the main thing I like here is Seattle and the under. And yeah, I'll have everything else out for you guys. But sorry that this isn't the most passionate pod because I just it's Thanksgiving weekend and it's not the greatest games. And yeah, just don't have the strongest opinions. But I do like Seattle. I think the Ravens should win. Excited to watch that game. And yeah, I'll have anything else out for you guys. Be here in the morning to break it all down. Have a great day. And yeah, good luck, guys. Good luck with everything you're doing. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully today we can make some money. And yeah, have a great day.